pressing than justice seeking. Now, so far, 11 Shiv Sainiks have been arrested by the Khar police over the violence. That's not all. The Parliamentary IIT Committee has also now stepped in, issuing summons to Kunal Kamra to appear before them. The Maharashtra's Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis and his very public warning also closely followed this. Kamra's supporters, on the other hand, including Sena UBT leaders like Uddhav and Aditya Thackeray, have rallied behind him, calling the vandalism cowardly and defending Kunal Kamra's right to free expression. This isn't Kamra's first brush with controversy, remember, like I have been saying. He's faced bans and threats before for his outspoken takes. But the IT committee's involvement marks a new chapter, especially after the Ranveer Allahabadiya precedent. Allahabadiya, you'd recall, was grilled for several hours over comments deemed obscene, prompting debates about censorship online. Now, with Kamra summoned, many are asking, is this a crackdown on comedy or a necessary line in the sand? Social media is ablaze with opinions split down the middle. Some hail Kamra as a free speech hero, others slam him as reckless. Now, as this story unfolds, it is clear the clash between satire and sensitivity is far from over. Now, let's take a look at Kunal Kamra, who is a comedian with a knack for stirring the pot. Let's look at his past brushes with controversy. So, here's a look at the first one that involves actor Salman Khan. So, here's what has happened. He made headline, and by he I mean Kunal Kamra. He made headlines for referencing two controversial cases associated with the Bollywood superstar Salman Khan. The first one was the 1998 Black Buck poaching case, and the second one was the 2002 hit and run case during one of his recent stand-up sets. Now, his comments were seen as whale digs at Khan's legal history, leading to massive backlash from Khan's fan base. Now, amid the reports suggesting possible legal action from Salman Khan's team, Kamra stood his ground, publicly refusing to apologize for the remarks that he'd made. Second, there is another controversy that involves him and the Ola CEO Bhavish Agarwal. Now, Kamra recently took to social media to slam the Ola CEO, highlighting the growing customer complaints, poor service experiences and fare-related grievances. He also criticized Ola's handling of the issues, amplifying user frustration. To this, we saw Bhavish Agarwal himself take to the Ola, the Twitter online and handle, and he hit back sharply at Kunal Kamra. He ended up tweeting, and he in fact put out this particular tweet on the social media platform X, and I'm quoting, "If you can't help, shut up and let's fix the issues." He even said that I'll pay you doubly from what you earn right now if you choose to come up and do that. This blunt response sparked another round of debate online over corporate accountability and handling criticism. Next up, we had another controversy, and this time this was a direct attack on the then Chief Justice of India by Kunal Kamra. This incident dates back to 2020 after the Supreme Court granted journalist Arnab Goswami an interim bail, and to that Kunal Kamra mocked the then Chief Justice of India, Sharad Bobde, on social media. He even posted an image showing the middle finger gesture. Contempt proceedings, but of course, were initiated against Kunal Kamra by the Supreme Court. Now, next, we also saw him into another controversy, and that involved a video of a 7-year-old child. This video, which involves Kunal Kamra, saw him posting that video of a child singing a patriotic song for the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This video, remember, was altered to mock the original performance. Following the intervention by the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, or the NCPCR, Kamra ended up deleting that video after facing a severe backlash. So we are asking today, Kamra cracks jokes, mobs crack windows. Is this justice or jungle rule?
मेरी नजर से तुम देखो गद्दार नजर वो आए थाने की रिक्शा चेहरे पे दाढ़ी आंखों पे चश्मा हाय
अभिव्यक्तीचं स्वातंत्र्य देखील मानणाऱ्यांपैकी आपण आहोत, पण अभिव्यक्तीचं स्वातंत्र्य हे जर स्वैराचाराकडे जात असेल तर मात्र ते काही मान्य होऊ शकणार नाही.
कुणाल कामरा को तुरंत अरेस्ट किया जाए और उन पे मुकदमा चलाना चाहिए.
कुणाल कामरा ने मुझे नहीं लगता कुछ गलत कहा है. गद्दारों को गद्दार करना ये किसी पर हमला करने की बात नहीं है. जो गद्दार है वो गद्दार है.
Joining me this evening on Plain Speak on our debate number 1, Shaina NC, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena, Bhavna Sharma Jain, spokesperson of the Congress, Kishori Tiwari, who's a spokesperson of Shiv Sena Uddhav faction, also joining us is Satya Mule, senior lawyer of the Supreme Court. Let's in fact begin with Shaina NC. Shaina, we have seen how the Shiv Sena, in fact Shiv Senics, have vandalized this entire property where Kunal Kamra had recorded that particular set. How is that justified? First of all, just explain to us, how is any amount of vandalism in the name of outrage justified?
First and foremost, who is this Kunal Kamra who pretends to be a comedian but is actually a stooge and a puppet under a political disguise? This is nothing but vulgarity, and vulgarity at its worst. It is a sense of ostentatious behavior which one has seen time and again when it comes to him, whether it is on in his comedy shows or even his entire history of somebody in the public space who has demeaned Justice Chandrachud, who has talked about banyas, who has talked about the Supreme Court, called the Supreme Court a supreme joke. So I don't think that we need to testify as to why there has been a reaction and a backlash.
I'm just asking you a simple question.
Yes, so
is the vandalism justified? Is this not overreaction to what has happened?
You have called the former chief minister and the deputy chief minister a rickshawala, which shows you it's a sense of condescending. Okay, that could be your commentary. Then you have gone on to call him a traitor, which he is not. If at all, it is the people who, completely rubbish the thought process of Hindu Hriday Samrat Adanya Balasaheb Thackeray and chose to sit in the lap of Sonia Gandhi, which you have chosen not to comment on. And here you're condescendingly saying that he's sitting in the lap of Devendra Fadnavis. Obviously, for every action, there is going to be a reaction. Different people react differently. There is cadre, which is completely driven by their belief of their leader and feel that what they would want to do is what they've done, and they have bared the brunt of it also, because 11 of our Shiv Senics have been arrested by the police. There are some like us who would choose television and social media to express our opinion. There are some others who will say that this vulgarity has no place in public life and in public space, because he has not only hurt the sentiment of all the Shiv Senics who have been privy to this sleaze, I would
Shaina,
call.
you were saying the Shiv Senics were acting unilaterally, they were acting on emotion, there was no reining in on the Shiv Senics that could have come in from the top brass?
Yes. I would want to say, please look at our track record. When Eknath Shinde ji was the Chief Minister of Maharashtra for 2.5 years, have you ever seen one arrest or one question vis-a-vis journalists or anybody in the public space who have chosen to have an opinion contrarian to us? Contrary to when Uddhav Thackeray ji was the Chief Minister, you saw ABP having a problem. You saw journalists being brought up. Your own Arnab Goswami, look at what he had to go through. And there you
Kishore
have
Tiwari,
this kind
how
of,
do you
even
see this
today,
reason?
Telangana government
Mr. Tiwari, how do you see this reason?
Government talking about arresting journalists. We have never done that, and we will never do that, because we
Kishore Tiwari,
contrarian opinion, but not sleaze under the garb of comedy.
She is
there is
having
a right to
acidity.
freedom of expression.
Okay, sleaze under the garb of comedy.
Sleaze
under the garb of comedy is what is the claim that has been made by Shiv Sena. Here Shaina NC is saying that whatever Kunal Kamra has said in that comic set of his should not have been said, and hence that kind of reaction and emotional response by the Shiv Senics and that vandalism that followed. And she also claims that there are 11 arrests that have been made, which have eventually happened, but there are many more people who are very much present in that video that has surfaced online of that vandalism. Kishore Tiwari, respond please.
No, I have been looking at the whole text of the his 2-minute clip. He says that the man who is having a rickshaw earlier, who is having dadi and chashma, went to Guwahati and he was hiding in Guwahati and मेरी नजर में ये गद्दार कहलाए. हाँ और हाय
आप कौन है गद्दार बोलने?
अरे तो रुको तो सही, आप है ना, रुकिए. बाद में बोला कि मंत्री नहीं ये दल बदलू कहलाए, जिस थाली में खाए उस थाली में छेद करे, ऊपर से मंत्रालय में नहीं
वो थाली में बचा क्या जब आपने हिंदू
Shaina, let him make his point. Let him make his point. I gave you enough time, Shaina. I gave you enough time. Let Kishore Tiwari make his point. Yes, Mr. Tiwari.
और ये सब, इसकी भाषा कुछ गलत रह सकती है, लेकिन इसने सत्य ही बोला कि वो बागी थे, वो गुवाहाटी में जाके छुपे थे, बाद में उन्होंने सत्ता में परिवर्तन किया, हमारी पार्टी का चुनाव चिन्ह ले लिया, अब हमारे बाप को भी चुरा रहे हैं. ये सब बातें उन्होंने लिखी. एक सत्य बोलने के ऊपर इतना आक्रोश क्यों? और सारे चुनाव में तो हमने यही बोला कि ये लोग प्रामाणिक नहीं है, अप्रामाणिक विश्वासघाती लोग है. अब मैं बता रहा हूं तुमको कि जो कुणाल कामरा है उससे हमारा कोई लेना देना नहीं है, एक बात. दूसरी बात, उन्होंने सत्य बोला है. अब इनके नरेंद्र मस्के बोलकर एक मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट थाना से चुन के आते हैं, वो बोला कि कुणाल कामरा ने सांप के पूंछ पर पैर रख दिया है और सांप के पूंछ पे पैर रख दिया है और हम पलट के काटेंगे. तो मैं शाइना एनसी से पूछता हूं कि बेटा तुम कैसे काटोगे, जरा बताओ. आपने पूरी संपत्ति वो क्लब की तोड़ दी, तो क्लब का और स्टूडियो का क्या लेना देना? आप लोग कर क्या रहे हो? आपके पास सत्ता है.
Shaina, quickly respond. I will go to Bhavna after that.
जवाब देना चाहिए किशोर जी कि जब उद्धव ठाकरे जी मुख्यमंत्री थे तो एबीपी के साथ आपने क्या किया? आप भूल गए क्या? अर्नब गोस्वामी के साथ आपने क्या किया? और ये वही कुणाल कामरा.
Can we please stick to the issue at hand? Can we stick to what is happening at hand? What is the controversy associated with Kunal Kamra?
You are protecting a Kunal Kamra under the garb of what? Under the garb of being just a puppet of yours and who only targets Eknath Shinde ji, the most popular chief minister and deputy chief minister.
Shaina, there is a crackdown at the venue that has been made. BMC officials have arrived at the venue. They claim one section of the property is illegal. How suddenly has the BMC sprung into action claiming that one portion... How suddenly? Only after this controversy did the BMC... No, let me ask the question first, Shaina. How suddenly, only after the controversy did BMC suddenly realize that they have to do their job and one portion of this particular area, this set where Kunal Kamra shot his stand-up act from is illegal. What were they doing so many days and so many years? Were they sleeping?
So I want to ask 2-3 questions. First, when you see this kind of a backlash, please understand for every action there is bound to be a reaction.
Kishore, Mr. Kishore, I am the one who is moderating the debate. Sir,
she is asking question.
Yes. Tiwari ji, मैं moderate कर रही हूँ. शाइना जी को जवाब देने दीजिए.
बचा ही नहीं है.
Yes, please go ahead.
इसलिए आप ऐसे लोगों को
Shaina, I request you and Kishore ji not to engage in personal bickering. Please, Shaina, go ahead and answer my question.
No, Shaina. Because this is under the garb of comedy that you have disguised yourself as a political activist.
Why did the BMC spring into action only now, Shaina?
I want to say 2 things. One, action and reaction, whether right, wrong or otherwise, that is only for officials to tell us. Officials will appraise us of what actually is whether it's a sheer coincidence or what is the case and study. I want to please come back to the core issue, which is you cannot call my leader a traitor under the garb of comedy. Okay. This is not comedy. This is vulgarity. Okay. You cannot.
So, Bhavna, should hurt feelings, green light, smash windows is the question that I am asking. What is the Congress's take on this?
BJP flag is on the Supreme
Shiv Sena is saying that my leader has been disrespected and hence you seeing this emotional response. How is the Congress standing on this?
It is appalling to see my friend Shaina NC here justifying the the vandalism, the tod-fod, the tok-shahi that is being propagated in the state, across the state. It is it's appalling to see that the Shiv
12
Sainik
people from
do not
Shiv Sena
have
have been
any
arrested,
confidence in their own Home Minister, Devendra Fadnavis, which of the government of Mahayuti, which they are a part of. So they don't have any confidence in their own CM, Devendra Fadnavis, who's also the Home Minister. It is very obvious it's a complete and utter breakdown of law and order, and they will just decide to take the law in their own hands and do their own.
Shaina, I request you to
Nobody
kindly
is-
not interject when somebody else is speaking. I'm giving you enough time, ma'am. Please have the basic decency to let the other person speak, and then you can respond. Yes,
They
Bhavna.
can't say something wrong
So-
and expect me to be quiet.
Bhavna, please
So-
go ahead.
So what is happening across Maharashtra is that we are seeing a complete and utter breakdown of law and order. There is no law and order, and that is what you saw yesterday. That a bunch of Shiv Sainiks decide to go and attack a hotel or a lobby, break down its lobby. Not only the studios, but they also break the lobby and the hotel as well. So this gundagardi or this vandalism that is going on is a symptomatic thing that is happening in Maharashtra across the board.
Satya Mule, you are a senior lawyer of the Supreme Court. What you see being played out of Maharashtra, how there is law and order clearly taken in the hands of a handful, not just a handful, but many Shiv Sainiks, more than the number that has been arrested by the Thane police. How do you see politics really get into the heart of it? And then when we claim that there is a freedom of speech and an expression in the country where online media, social media is completely on the rise, you would have many such things which will be part of the social media, which will be going viral. Is such an act really justified?
Well, it is absolutely not justified. If we have to take into consideration what the Congress spokesperson said, that there is a complete breakdown of law and order situation and so on and so forth. In fact, this itself leads to criminalizing the actions and the words of Mr. Kunal Kamra, because Article 19, where freedom of speech and expression is guaranteed under Constitution of India, is subject to reasonable restrictions, including public order and law and order. If his words has provoked this kind of a situation, definitely he cannot hide under the umbrella of freedom of speech. He in fact can be booked under section 356, 1 and 2, that is defamation, 352, that is intentional insult, 353, that is public mischief, as well as 67 for broadcasting objectionable content. Now what happens is, this particular Mr. Kamra has been a serial and habitual offender. It does appear to be an attempt to divert the attention from Disha Salian murder case.
Absolutely
and definitely correct. This is a very perfect timing that they have brought into this particular stooge and has been provoked by none other
so, Satya
than...
Mule, you are essentially saying that there are many legal avenues that are before the Shiv Sena in this particular case. If at all there is something that is said at the behest or in the garb of freedom of speech, there have been these legal avenues that could have been used, and yet it wasn't in the first place. The first thing was vandalism.
There is one more important point. What happens is, these people engage in certain kind of speech under the umbrella of freedom of speech and expression, but their main objective is to reduce or crack the what we can call as the faith of common people in constitutional posts and constitutional institutions. This is nothing but a symbol of urban Naxalism. Therefore, this particular Mr. Kunal Kamra must be prosecuted, and let the judiciary take its own call whether he is a criminal or not.
Okay. While you make that point, and yet you have not answered the question that I asked you in interjection, I'd want to also understand, since I mentioned how this Parliamentary IT Committee possibly is going to be summoning Kunal Kamra. We have seen what had happened in the case of Ranveer Alabadia, another stand-up comic and also content creator, YouTuber in the past, very, very recently, a raging controversy. Is this an attempt to tighten the grip on digital content by the government? And in that case, where lies that Article 19 and the freedom of speech and expression?
Well, Parliamentary Committee has been given a task to frame certain guidelines by the Supreme Court itself. definitely want to bank upon self-restraint. I want to point out this particular kind of stand-up comedians that they have to demonstrate self-restraint. But government has to lay down certain guidelines which will definitely tell what is acceptable under Indian society and the current environment. Having said all these things, it is definitely going to lead to some kind of a balancing act on part of the government. But what we want to tell here is that people just cannot say anything which is provocative, insulting, at the same time will affect law and order or public order situation and call it as
When
freedom
did
of
it
speech and
affect
expression.
law and order, sir? Mr. Mule, when did it affect law and order? When the Shiv Sainiks vandalized the property, only then did it affect law and order. So is that not illegal? They could have countered what Kunal Kamra said with words, with lawsuit, as you yourself mentioned. Why was that not done?
Definitely, what happens is when public at large is affected, their sentiments are affected. It is a crime under Indian law. We cannot say that those were only people from Shiv Sena or they were people from any particular faction. When their emotions are affected, when their sentiments are affected, it is a crime. It is not that people from certain political parties do not have emotions.
Why do you think crimes happen, sir? You are part of the legal framework of the society of India. Why do you think crimes happen? It's because people are emotionally impacted. That's why you see death cases, murders, rapes for that matter. Don't you think because of some kind of emotional misfiring in the system, these things happen, and that's how criminals are born, and that is something that is not legally allowed. And hence this vandalism should not have been allowed.
The same thing.
You are also saying, sir, that emotionally charged these people ended up doing this because Kunal Kamra said something in criticism of the Deputy Chief Minister. How are you justifying that, sir?
I am saying definitely that criticism is welcome.
Okay.
But when the criticism is amounting to insult and provocation, that criticism cannot be called as satire. Satire has its own definition. When satire transgresses into some personal attack, it is definitely not a stand-up comedian's job to make personal attacks which are politically colored. And in fact, for satire to stand and remain effective, it should focus on critiquing the system.
Kishore Tiwari ji, Uddhav Thackeray ने after this controversy, उन्होंने खुद एकनाथ शिंदे को in as many words वही सारे definition use किए हैं जो कुणाल कामरा ने use किए हैं. ये जो offensive लॉन्च कर रही है UBT faction शिवसेना की, वो किस तरह से पॉलिटिकली स्पीकिंग इंपैक्ट करेगी महाराष्ट्र को? ये तो कंट्रोवर्सी बढ़ती ही जाएगी, क्योंकि ये वॉर ऑफ वर्ड्स सिर्फ एकनाथ शिंदे और उद्धव फैक्शन के बीच में नहीं हो रहा है, ये महायुति और महाविकास आघाड़ी के बीच में अब हो रहा है.
ये देखो, सत्य तो सत्य है. ये गुवाहाटी गए, हमारी पार्टी को तोड़ा, पार्टी को तोड़कर इन्होंने बगावत की, ये बागी है, इन्होंने गद्दारी की, ये भी है. दल बदलू तो दल बदलू भी है, ऊपर से बाद में फिर शाह और देवेंद्र फडणवीस के गोदी में जाके बैठे, ये भी है. तो जिस थाली में खाए उस थाली में छेद डाला. अरे चुप बैठो भाई, अरे चुप तो बैठो तुम. अरे इनको है ना एसिडिटी की तकलीफ हो रही है, थोड़ा संभालो.
लेट्स नॉट गेट पर्सनल.
मैं बात कर लेता हूँ कि ये आरोप हमने इलेक्शन में लगाए. कामरा ने आज वो उसको एक सटायर बना के बोला, लेकिन कुमार कामरा को, ये कुणाल कामरा को अकेला समझ के बीजेपी वाले कह रहे कि हम नाग है, सांप है.
नहीं, बीजेपी वाले ये भी कह रहे हैं, और एक और एलिगेशन आपको सत्या मूले की तरफ से भी आया है कि ये जो दिशा सालियां वाला केस हुआ है उस पे पर्दा डालने के लिए कुणाल कामरा एक स्टूज की तरह उभरे हैं. ये उद्धव फैक्शन के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि बड़े नेताओं का नाम आदित्य ठाकरे इंक्लूडेड उसमें आया है, दिशा सालियां के केस में आया है. उस पे पर्दा डालने के लिए ये कंट्रोवर्सी इरप्ट की गई है. कैसे रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगे किशोर जी?
देखिए, मैं अभी बताता हूं तुमको. इस महीने के ये जो महीना चल रहा है उसके पहले हफ्ते के अंदर सतीश सालियान ने एप्लीकेशन मूव किया था, लेकिन नागपुर के दंगे पलट गए और नागपुर के दंगे बीजेपी के आंग पे आ गए. तो उससे हटाने के लिए एप्लीकेशन तो मूव हुआ ही था, कोर्ट के सामने ये एप्लीकेशन था, कोर्ट ने इसे नोटिस बिफोर एडमिशन किया हुआ है. ये 2 तारीख पहले से दी हुई थी. तो नागपुर के दंगे से ध्यान भटकाने के लिए ये सारा मैटर कुछ पत्रकारों ने फिर से खड़ा किया है ना. कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर दिया है और इन्होंने जितने भी गंभीर आरोप लगाए हैं तो सतीश सालियान जी को देख लेंगे ना हम कोर्ट में. वो अगर आरोप के कोई सबूत जुड़ाते हैं तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, वो बच्ची को अगर रेप करके किसी ने हत्या की है तो उसको न्याय मिलना चाहिए। लेकिन मेरे नेता पे कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के वजह से झूठे आरोप लगाते हैं सतीश तालियान जी, तो उसकी कीमत उनको चुकानी पड़ेगी, मैं क्लियर कर रहा हूँ।
Is that a threat on national television that you are giving to the father of a girl who's lost her life, sir? Kishore ji.
अरे भाई ये हम वो लोग नहीं है जो धमकी वमकी देते। उखाड़ दिया है ना, उखाड़ बोला धमकी से दिया है ना, उखाड़ दिया। हम लोग है ना, देखो उनके पास सबूत होंगे तो 5 साल सोए क्यों थे? 5 साल सोए के बाद जागे हैं तो वो सबूत दे। सीबीआई ने एक क्लोजर रिपोर्ट दे दिया है और ये इनमें एसआईटी काम कर रही है। वो एसआईटी को बाईपास करके हाईकोर्ट में गए, हाईकोर्ट में वही वकील।
Okay, one final thing that I'd like to understand, and talking about dhamki, here we also see, Shaina, the Maharashtra administration under Devendra Fadnavis, it seems to be taking a page out of the UP Yogi Adityanath handbook. Why is Devendra Fadnavis increasingly becoming trigger happy? What explains the vandalism in this case that has happened under Eknath Shinde and Devendra Fadnavis, and also what had happened in the riot accused house in Nagpur? Demolishing the house, all of a sudden a 24-hour notice given. What really is happening? Or the BMC officials going to this entire premises where the Stand-Up Act was shot?
So 3 points. First, when you talked about the timing of this being suspect, completely agree, and I'm glad you are saying it and not me, because is it a mere tactic to deflect from a core issue and an investigation which is on? Sure could be it. As far as Kunal Kamra is concerned, he is clearly a
I didn't say it. I only presented the question that Satya Mule had mentioned, but anyways, go ahead.
Anyway.
Yeah.
The timing being suspect is one. Nobody has the right to comment on my leader or my leader's style of leadership, whether he's a rickshaw driver who becomes the chief minister.
Shaina, you're saying the same thing. I'm only asking you, is this a UP model that is being replicated here in Maharashtra?
If you let me complete my point,
please go ahead.
Then can I
Ma'am, only 10 seconds. Please go ahead.
I have only 10 seconds, right? So let's not interject each other.
Sure.
You have a statement made, you have a reaction. People react in different ways. For every action, there is a reaction. The cadre obviously was charged and reacted. Has Devendra Fadnavis taken legal respite, or has he arrested 12 of our Shiv Sainiks? 12 of our Shiv Sainiks
is defending the violence.
They have been arrested, and it is a question of my opinion or yours. The only subject point being that a comedian cannot pretend to be a political activist under the garb.
We'll have to unfortunately wrap it because it is going about in circles. But the question still remains, should hurt feelings, green light, smashed windows, which has happened in this case on this controversy surrounding Kunal Kamra, where do you really draw the line between offence and expression? Still remains the big question. We would like to thank all my guests for joining us on the broadcast on Plain Speak on debate number 1. Next up, after this very short break, we are delving into the controversy surrounding Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar, who has now backed Chief Minister Siddaramaiah amid the 4% reservation controversy. In CNN News 18 interview, now is minority representation and outreach or optics is what we are asking on the other side. Stay tuned.
लाल रंग इस Ezgi arkadaşımıza çok teşekkür ediyoruz.
Dava açsınlar. O sandık kurulacak. Bu savaşı bana değil.
Sokaklara döküleceğiz. Sandığa gideceğiz.
Welcome back. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Griha. Now, another major political flashpoint today had the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar at the centre of a fierce face-off over his remarks linked to religion-based reservation and the Constitution. In a conversation with News18, the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister said that the government's responsibility is to uplift minorities and bring them into the mainstream, adding that judgments have altered the Constitution over time. What followed was an all-out showdown between the Congress and the BJP, both inside and outside Parliament. The BJP quickly hit out, accusing the Congress leader of undermining constitutional values and engaging in minority appeasement politics. D.K. Shivakumar, however, rejected these claims, stating that his comments were being misrepresented. He clarified that he referred to how constitutional amendments follow judicial rulings and was not calling for any religion-specific quota changes. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge also stood firm, defending DK Shivakumar and reaffirming the party's commitment to the constitution, while slamming the BJP for politicizing the issue. Breach of privilege proceedings against Union Ministers Kiren Rijiju and JP Nadda were also initiated for circulating what the Congress calls distorted versions of Shivakumar's speech. DK Shivakumar has also underlined his long legislative track record to counter BJP's narrative. All of this, remember, comes on the heels of Karnataka's move to approve a 4% reservation for minority communities in public contracts, another decision that the BJP has criticized, calling it politically driven and unconstitutional. Now, here's how News18's interview has created ripples inside the parliament. Let's take a look over the claims and counterclaims. Now, BJP claims that the Congress is attempting to give backdoor entry to Muslims. Congress, in response, has called this BJP's doublespeak on quota. BJP, on the other hand, is escalating the attack, and it has said that the Congress is stealing OBC quota and reserving it for the Muslim community. While Congress has countered it by saying that BJP has also backed religion-based politics and quota in the past. Saffron Party, on the other hand, further goes on to accuse the Congress of playing vote bank politics, to which the Congress responds alleging that the BJP is resorting to lies as it is nervous of the grand old party's popularity. BJP has further called the Congress party as anti-Ambedkar or against the father of the constitution. On the other hand, the grand old party has said that the Congress believes in Bharat Jodo, while the BJP has a Bharat Todo ideology. So we are asking, as far as that News18 interview with DK Shivakumar is rocking Parliament, minority quota, is it outreach or just optics?
Good day will come. A lot of changes are there. Constitutions will be changing. There are judgments which alters the constitution also.
नहीं तो हम बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे। संविधान की रक्षा करना हम सबका जिम्मेदारी होना चाहिए अध्यक्ष महोदय। इन्होंने बैकडोर एंट्री क्या की है? बैकडोर एंट्री ये की है कि माइनॉरिटीज को, मुस्लिम्स को स्पेसिफिकली ओबीसी में बैकडोर से एंट्री देने का भी काम, कुछ प्रयास इन्होंने किया।
Whatever they are quoting is wrong. They are miscarrying it.
Let me take this across to my guests who are joining us on the broadcast. Radhika Khera, spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. Dhruv Jatti, spokesperson of the Congress, is with us, and also with us is R.K. Upadhyay, senior journalist. Now, Radhika, beginning with you, the Karnataka government amended that Karnataka Transparency in Public Procurement, or the KTPP Act, which of course created a lot of furor inside the Karnataka Assembly. But this particular amendment extends that scope of category 2B reservation beyond education and employment, and it now applies to government contracts and tenders, which of course value up to 2 crores. So how is it particularly only appeasing the Muslim community? Radhika, I believe you are on mute.
Namaskar. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Today, I'm going to make this loud and clear. The Congress is the real threat to the Constitution of India. The same Congress that screamed in 2024 under the leadership of Rahul Gandhi that the Bharatiya Janata Party is going to change the Constitution if they're going to come back to power, has now been caught red-handed, plotting to rewrite, not for justice, not for upliftment, but for their Muslim appeasement. DK Shivakumar, who is Rahul Gandhi's chosen deputy CM, has said it on record that we will change the constitution to give Muslims reservations. This was not a slip of tongue. This is not an off-the-cuff remark. This has not been put away in any other way. This is the real face of Congress, and let's be blunt. Congress does want to Islamize India's quota system. They stole OBC reservation and gifted it to Muslims in Karnataka under category 2B. They gave 4% reservation in government tenders exclusively to Muslims. They've come up with schemes exclusively for Muslim girls. they for self protection and everything exclusively for Muslim girls, because महिलाएं सिर्फ मुसलमान समाज से आती हैं. They do not belong to Hindus, they do not belong to Christians, they do not belong to Zoroastrians, they do not belong to Sikhs or any other community for that matter. They have announced a Ramzan budget which is worth thousands of crores, free salaries to imams, free education, free loans, free hostels, all for one community. What about the other communities? Are there only Muslims who live in this country? And now they're defending this by saying that if needed, we will also change the constitution. What happened to Baba Saheb Ambedkar's vision? What happened to the constitution that Rahul Gandhi had been waving around for the past 2 years? Baba Saheb explicitly rejected religion-based reservations. And not even him. Jawaharlal Nehru ji, for the record, Indira Gandhi ji, Rajiv Gandhi ji, all have on record rejected and said that we will, and even Mahatma Gandhi ji, जिनका नाम राहुल गांधी जी सुबह शाम लेते हैं और कहते हैं कि हम उन्हीं की पार्टी से आते हैं. On record, they have all said that we are not going to go in favor of Muslim reservation. But no, this is another Congress. And but why is it doing this? They're determined to throw the ideals of Baba Saheb Ambedkar, like they have done in the past, into the dustbin to please the radical vote bank, which is very sad for today. And we cannot forget that this is the same party that had also overturned the Shah Bano judgment, denied SC reservations in EMU, and now they want to bypass all constitutional limits. Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra was not Bharat Jodo Yatra. It was Bharat Todo Yatra, which we are seeing now come down on paper. They have accused the Bharatiya Janata Party.
I'd like to come in. Yeah, all right, Dhruv, I will give you that time. I just wanted to understand. Okay, Radhika, please complete your point. Yes.
See, it is very clear that it is Mr. Gandhi and his party who is just trying to distort the constitution for their votes. They are the ones who celebrate Aurangzeb but hide Shivaji, and they've always, if you take out history also, they've only taught us about Mughal history. If you remember when you were in school also, did we ever read about Shivaji Maharaj or Sambhaji Maharaj? No, because our history textbooks only glorified the Muslims. They did not talk about our in-country heroes. So they have been fueling radicalism from the beginning, and today they continue to do so, and they call themselves secular. Diwali party, tell me one day when they have held the Diwali party in a Congress office in a state or the 24 Akbar Road. But yes, Mrs. Gandhi has gone on to host iftar parties in five-star hotels. If you're secular, you have to work for both of us.
Your response. Dhruv.
Right. So, Karnataka Member of Parliament in Rajya Sabha, Shri Jairam Rameshi, has moved motion of question of privilege against Kiren Rijiju and against JP Nadda for misleading the House. And even if you look at our Deputy Chief Minister's statements that he made today in terms of clarification, he was quite clear. And Griha, you should play that audio again where our Deputy CM speaks about, the Constitution on the whole, and you can clearly see there is no explicit mention of any change in anywhere. It's misleading, and it's diverting the population against the real issues that are at hand today. And I listened to what Radhika said, and specifically about Muslims. Please open clause number 171, which is specified in the budget, and explain to me where it is explicitly said that there is a reservation of 4% only for Muslims. Does not the Kambara, Idiga and the Kuruba communities, does not C1 of the category include 391 different castes put together?
So Dhruv, help us while you are on that point, help me understand this, that this amendment that was made in the KDPP Act is meant to extend that scope of category 2B, but this particular amendment was made to include Muslims or to give the government contracts to Muslims, or other than Muslims, other minority communities as well. Where is the confusion which is leading to this kind of a counter that's coming in from BJP?
Confusion leads in where BJP interprets this entire clause, and it starts with the fact that they believe that it's particularly only for Muslims. In layman's terms, it accommodates to minorities, and in Karnataka, minorities include even the Jain community, the Sikh community, Christians, etc., and a various number of communities that I mentioned earlier. The Muslims were already and now they to be, and I listened to what Radhika said, and she spoke a lot about real threat in history, and since she loves history a lot, let me take her back to May 1st, 2014, where I can pull out 50 Sikh or own should be severely punished. He should read the Indian Constitution if he wants to remain in politics. This is a tweet of Radhika herself from 2014, and I think it's
No, how is it connecting to
Yeah, no,
the
the
allegations that are being
Radhika.
made by BJP right now?
Exactly.
Exactly. I will second Radhika on that. How is that even answering the question that BJP is raising? But Mr. R.K. Upadhyay wants to make a quick point. You were mentioning about this latest amendment in the KTPP Act, and R.K. Upadhyay begs to differ. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
See, the Congress spokesman is trying to, find a nail in the haystack. I mean, he's saying that, it doesn't talk about Muslims, it's for minorities. The amendment is very, very clear.
It doesn't
says very
explicitly.
clearly 4%
It doesn't
reservation
explicitly.
for Muslims. It talks about Muslims, nobody else. And
Explicitly,
DK
where, sir?
Shivakumar has
Where, sir?
categorically said in the
No, please
statement
explain to me where in clause number 171
it's all
and
about
clause number
Muslims.
172.
So reservation is for
One
Muslims.
second. Let him make his point. I'll come back to you, Dhruv. Dhruv, I'll come back to you.
Hello.
And
Please
show
allow
me where
me.
it explicitly says for Muslims. Please pull out the budget and show it to me. Open the clause 171
Now,
and
as per the
172.
Congress spokesperson, Mr. Upadhyay, he's saying that this is not mentioning explicitly meant for Muslim community. So this is not a religion-based reservation. This is the
No,
claim
it
by
is
the
very-
Congress party.
No, he cannot mislead the people. It's very clear that it very clearly mentions a 4% reservation for Muslims under 2B category. So there is no ambiguity in that. And DK Shivakumar has got himself into big mess
clause?
by specifically
R.K.
saying that
Upadhyay,
we are
you're
going
a
to bring
senior,
the constitution changes.
journalist. We respect
This is
you a lot
exactly
in
the
the
same
state.
stick
Please
that
tell me
I
why
think
the
you
clause
should let
says-
the person speak. This is not
Can you
fair.
please keep quiet? Can you please allow me to speak?
Yes, Mr. Upadhyay.
Why don't you allow me to
Dhruv,
speak?
I will let you
No,
speak.
if
I'll
you
let
are
you
going to
counter
be-
this. One second.
It
Dhruv,
is-
I will
it
let
is
you
my
counter
opinion.
this. I'll let you counter this. I gave you the time when you had to counter Radhika. You in fact digressed it. Let Mr. Upadhyay make his point. Then you can come up with a counter. Dhruv, please hold your
So this
horses.
is the same, constitutional amendment bogey which Rahul Gandhi used during the Lok Sabha elections, and reaped enormous benefit for the Congress party. Now it's very clear that Shivakumar is making it very clear that the Congress party wants to make the changes for the benefit of the Muslims. So that is why he has been caught on the wrong foot. And what kind of a this thing is
No,
going to
has DK Shivakumar been caught on the wrong foot because of that, or it has been caught on the wrong foot because the BJP is interpreting an excerpt from this interview on News 18 that he has given, where he has said that constitutional amendments follow certain judicial rulings. Do you think BJP, for its own political posturing, is interpreting it in a way that suits their narrative?
DK Shivakumar's one-point agenda these days is to somehow get the CM's post, replace Siddaramaiah, and he's making all kinds of flip-flops. Just about a month ago, when he came back from Prayagraj, and after a dip in the holy dip with his family members, he praised Yogi Adityanath, for the.
Okay, this will go in a completely different
and then he
direction,
called
Mr.
himself a
Upadhyay.
Hindu. And now after that, he got a
you have two
backlash,
BJPs.
and then he started supporting this Muslim agenda. So he doesn't know what he's
Okay,
talking.
lest
He
I'm
already
being
is
accused
interested
of
in
having a
becoming
lopsided debate, sir, I would let Dhruv answer and respond. The first question, Dhruv, is when you say that this was not explicitly meant for the Muslims, how are you justifying this? And considering you were constantly countering the claim that Mr. R.K. Upadhyay is making while he was speaking. So please, your word now.
Yeah, open 71 and 172 and show me where it explicitly says Muslims. It is for the minority communities, and the minority communities which fall under the Karnataka state government.
What was
And
this
is what
amendment
the-
all about? Dhruv,
clearly
what was
says.
this latest amendment all about? Put it in for us in black and white. What is this 4%
In
reservation?
black and white, it's quite simple. There was this particular amount of rupees that was 1 crore, which was extended to 2 crores, and this is all based on the Economically Backward Commission survey, which was put forth. It has nothing to do with religion. On the whole, the Karnataka contractor system has seen a huge monopoly over the past 10 years, and it's something that's been quite visible. The BJP and the BJP's puppets everywhere seem to have an issue when the Congress goes on to empower people in the state. It's a machinery that we keep seeing time and again, that the BJP tries to, use. But their real issue lies with Yatnal
So
and Vijendra's fight. They're not
this extension in government
Can I please
tenders,
respond?
this will benefit not just the Muslim community you're saying, but other backward communities in Karnataka.
Can
Is
I
that
please
what you're
expose
saying,
them
Dhruv?
out here now?
all minorities, Griha.
Not
All
just
minorities
Muslims. All right,
that fall
Radhika
under
Khera.
this category.
Radhika
Okay,
Khera.
now I'm going to just give me 40 seconds, and I hope the Congress spokesperson is not going to jump on his heels.
Radhika, I would like you to wrap it in 20 because I just have 40 seconds on the debate.
When Congress says that 4% reservation is not for Muslims, they're either lying or they think that the people of India are fools. Category 2B is exclusively for Muslim reservation. In Karnataka, the category 2B has exclusively been reserved for Muslims. And this is not new. It has been documented since the earlier Congress regimes. In 2024, 12 Congress MPs wrote to Karnataka government demanding a 4% quota in tenders for Muslims under this very category. The government granted it. Who are you trying to fool? Your Congress Minister Zamir Ahmad Khan openly said we demanded this based on population. And Siddaramaiah, the CM, has delivered. Muslims deserve their share. Karnataka budget 2025 confirms it. The budget openly provides 4% reservation in government contracts up to 2 crores under 2B, which the Congress has used as only Muslim category. Not a single Hindu caste exists in 2B. And this is not Muslim reservation. Then why is every benefit
10 seconds,
only going to
10
exclusively
seconds.
Muslims?
10 seconds. Quickly respond. I am very short on time. Dhruv.
PU colleges for Muslim girls, Bhavan expansion.
Okay. Please show me where in clause number 171 it shows
You continue to speak about clauses. You are not countering it, Dhruv.
Is there not category 2A?
And hence we are seeing the kind of narrative that has happened after this interview with News 18 of DK Shivakumar's. We will see which way is it headed, because clearly there is a lot of turmoil that is expected in the Parliament tomorrow as well over this, since there are privilege motions that have been proceedings that have been initiated against not just one but 2 union ministers. We are now cutting into some breaking news. Now we are learning that Parliament is likely to hold a screening of the film made on Maratha ruler Chhatrapati Shambhaji Maharaj Chhawa, the Vicky Kaushal starrer, in the Parliament Library building at the Bal Yogi Auditorium on Thursday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and union ministers and other MPs will be attending that special show. We are also told that the entire cast and crew of the film is also expected to be in attendance. My colleague Payal is with us on the broadcast. Payal, we all know that the film Chhawa, other than generating a lot of appreciation while people are going and watching it, has also received a lot of criticism and also led to allegedly the riots in Nagpur. So it is a controversial film nonetheless. But this special screening in the Parliament, is it a first time?
You have movies that are screened for parliamentarians which are of national importance, and in the recent also you saw a film on the Sabarmati report also being screened by members for members of parliament in parliament. And this is going to be another movie because basically the government of the day essentially feels that this is one story of bravery of the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj that everybody needs to know. Of course, there has been a lot of back and forth that you've seen in the last week or so as far as the movie, or probably, some people even going on to blame the Nagpur riots on the movie, but that's something which is of course far and beyond that. Patriotism and the kind of patriotism that one draws from the life of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj is there for everybody to really see. So that's the reason the screening is being scheduled. And we are given to understand that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also given his consent to attend this particular screening. And the entire cast and crew, especially the directors and the actors, are expected to be present during the screening for MPs, ministers, and of course the Prime Minister himself in Parliament itself. So the exact timing for the screening is still being finalized, being worked upon. But we do understand that Thursday is the day on which the parliamentarians will be able to watch this movie in the parliamentary complex itself.
And this is meant for all the MPs, Payal, or it's only restricted to the BJP or the NDA MPs?
Well, all the MPs have been in fact invited, is what we are given to understand, but depends on who wants to really come.
Right.
But for sure, the NDA MPs will be there in presence, is what we are given to understand.
All right, a special screening there for Chhawa. Thank you so much, Payal, for joining us and giving us all the details. And with that, it's a wrap from my side on Plain Speak.
Brought to you by
Good evening, you're watching The Right Stand with me, Poonam Burde. DK Shivakumar's outspoken comment made at a News18 conclave has become the biggest talking point nationally. While justifying his government's move to grant 4% quota for Muslims in government tenders, the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister said that they are well aware that their move will meet with legal hurdles. He said even if people knock on the doors of the country's courts, they are optimistic that there will be change because there is precedent of court judgments paving the way for changes in the constitution. 12 hours later, his comment had armed the BJP, even the central government, to turn the Samvidhan Bachao narrative of the Congress party, specifically of Rahul Gandhi, on its head. From heated debates inside the parliament, both houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, to news conferences that were held outside. The government and the BJP unleashed a no-holds-barred attack on the Congress party, but DK Shivakumar claimed that this was a BJP hit job against him, that his words were being twisted to mislead the entire country. Listen in to what DK Shivakumar said at News18's conclave and the clarification that came afterwards.
Let us see, let us watch, let what court comes out. We have started something. I know that everyone will go to the court. Let us wait for some good day. Good day will come. Lot of changes are there. Constitutions will be changing. There are judgments which alters the constitution also.
BJP doesn't have any work. They are trying to mislead the nation. I am a sensible politician. I know